I would play it, but I'm currently in the middle of Ninja Gaiden 4, and I've got the Outer Worlds 2, and then Dispatch, which sadly is not coming to Xbox. I just got that, the episodic game from some ex-Telltale people with Aaron Paul. So
and what else do you have, Ryan?
Yeah, we are.
What else do you have?
Oh, what else? Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay, that's what we were all dismissing. By the way, we're just like, wow, Ryan, must be nice.
I was flexing on these guys before we started, but we'll talk about that. I mean, it's in the headline, so everybody can figure out what it is. But no, I wanted to start with Ninja Gaiden 4, which is actually out and is a thing that people can play right now. But unfortunately, there was just for Ninja, this is just, it's been sort of marketing build as the year of the Ninja, but we really have gotten a bunch of great Ninja games this year between Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound and Shinobi The Art of Vengeance, which not part of the Ninja Gaiden family, but certainly qualifies as Year of the Ninja. And now Mitchell's reviewed Ninja Gaiden 4, which we're going to talk a lot about here in a second. But there's a real just tragic, just incredibly sad story related to Ninja Gaiden this week. And that is the director of the Ninja Gaiden reboots, from, of course, the original Xbox game, which is still, I mean, Mitchell, Ninja Gaiden Black, besides being, you and I agree, it's the number one greatest character action game ever to this day, 20 years later. But it's also probably a top 5, top 10 at worst original Xbox game. You would agree with this?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Ninja Gaiden was a destination for people who didn't have an Xbox. They would look at that game and be like, oh, I kind of need an Xbox, because I think there was no game quite like it. It looked beautiful at the time. That's the thing I think a lot of people don't really, look back on Ninja Gaiden for, but it was a looker. Ninja Gaiden was one of the best looking games at the time.
And it supported widescreen out of the box.
And it was silky smooth. Like 60 frames per second, never faltered. Just incredible game.
So the director of that game, the creative force behind it, Tomonobu Itagaki, has passed away at the age of just 58 years old. Ninja Gaiden, of course, I mean, for Mitchell and I, that's the thing we think of first when we think of Itagaki-san. But he also was the creative force behind the Dead or Alive series of fighting games as well. And Mitchell, you're a fighting game sicko yourself, so you know that well. And he posted, he asked a friend, he wrote a goodbye message that he had someone post after he passed away. It was posted on his Facebook page. And it says, "Last words. The light of my life is finally fading. The fact that this message has been posted means that the time has finally come. I am no longer in this world." And then he says in parentheses, "I am entrusting this final post to someone important to me. My life has been a series of battles. I kept winning. I have caused a lot of trouble too. I'm proud to say that I followed my beliefs and fought to the end. I have no regrets. However, I am filled with regret that I was unable to deliver a new work to all my fans. I am sorry. That's how it is. So it goes. Tomonobu Itagaki."
That last line hurts, man.
It's really sad. Like, that hurts to read. I mean, it's I can't imagine what it was like for him to write that. But Itagaki, 58 years old. We don't really know at this point. I don't know if it'll come out at all or if family will keep it private or whatnot. But presumably some sort of illness if he passed so young and he knew his time was coming. But
so there was actually a really nice article that just went up on The Guardian from James Milk, who was
James Milky. It says Milky, how you pronounce his name.
Who was a very good friend of Itagaki-san, and he talks a little bit about his kind of final weeks, and like he sent him a text saying, "Hey, let's get dinner," and then Itagaki replied, "Oh, thank you so much, but unfortunately I've been in the hospital for the last couple months." So he goes into it a little bit about what happened with him, but it's a very, very emotional read. I would recommend people who love Itagaki check it out.
Yeah, thank you, Mitchell. I actually have that. I hadn't had a chance to read it before the podcast, but I have a tab with it open. It's on timeextension.com is the website, and I'm sure folks can find it from there. So I've met Itagaki a number of times. Mitchell, do you want to kind of, as a fan of his stuff, like, do you want to say anything before I share a couple of my personal Itagaki moments?
I'll just say, Itagaki, I think a lot of people view Itagaki as one of gaming's few like rock star kind of characters. He did things his own way. He had a very iconic look, a very iconic style. He has probably my favorite video game developer quote of the game tester. It was easier, but the game testers said it was too difficult, so I made it even more difficult. Which is just I can't even imagine any developer in the modern age of gaming publicly saying that. It's just he was one of a kind, man, and his contributions to the action genre, to fighting games, just immeasurable. And I'm getting emotional, so go ahead, Ryan. Take it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the thing is, I mean, the video game industry, I think you'd all agree, the game industry as a whole is so young that we're not used to this. Like the entertainment industry, there are, people, actors, performers, directors, writers pass away because it's a medium that's been around for over a century. But video gaming hasn't, and this is not something, and 58 is far too young for Itagaki-san, and it's just not something we're used to in the game space. So yeah, it kind of, that makes it tough news, and the fact that he was so young makes it so much incredibly tougher. Team Ninja, the studio he headed up, released a quote on social media. They said, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of Team Ninja's first leader, Tomonobu Itagaki. We will carry on the philosophy and creativity that Itagaki-san began and continue to create games that many gamers will enjoy. Our deepest condolences for his loss." There were tributes from all over the place. Famously, I mean, I'm not going to kind of get into the whole thing now. You can go read Harada-san's social accounts for more of this if you want. But he had this feud with Harada-san who heads up the Tekken franchise. This like pretty public feud, and Harada-san, since his passing, has shared some like really long posts about how they they reconciled later and they really became friends, and it was very touching. Mitchell, I don't know if you had a chance to look at that stuff. Mm-hmm. I did, and
I did.
It was just a really kind of neat insight into who Itagaki was. So yeah, for me, the first time I met him was when he came in to the official Xbox Magazine offices. It must have been either like sometime in 2003 or maybe early 2004, because Ninja Gaiden came out in early 2004. I think it was March, if I remember right. And yeah, he came in and like Mitchell was saying, like he had this persona. He always wore a black leather jacket, usually black leather pants as well. He had long hair, always wore these wraparound dark sunglasses. Even inside, he didn't take them off. And he had a vision for his games, for Dead or Alive, and especially for Ninja Gaiden. And every interaction I had with him was through a translator, since I don't speak Japanese. But he was just he really cared about the games he made. He was so invested in it. And I love that quote that Mitchell shared. I remember that quote as well. And then there was a press event for this offsite, like remote event that I went to for Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Now, for those of you who might be too young, I'm seeing the acknowledging smiles from my castmates. If this right now is the first time that that anyone listening to this or watching this is hearing about Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. And yes, extreme spelled XTREME. It was the 2000s. This is how it was. Go look up Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. It's exactly what you think it is. And I was interviewing him for that.
Maybe don't look it up at work.
Yeah. Man. So there was that in addition, which was like the spinoff from DOA, obviously. And then Ninja Gaiden 2, I'm pretty sure I interviewed him over the course of the time for that as well. I reviewed that one for Official Xbox Magazine. I didn't review the first one. That was Dave Reese. Shout out to Dave, who is our disc editor at OXM. He loved Ninja Gaiden as well. He loved Itagaki-san. And I reviewed 2. And that was a badge of honor. Like, honestly, just getting through it, conquering it, reviewing it. Like, sadly, none of OXM's stuff is online. Like, my whole pre-IGN career only exists in literal, actual, physical magazine form. So it's if I had my Ninja Gaiden 2 review like available, I would have shared it this past week with the passing of Itagaki-san. But it's somewhere in a box in down in my loft in the garage. But yeah, he was a character. He just so cared about games, and like you were saying, Mitchell, he had a way of he had a vision, and he was not going to compromise from that, and he never did. And then Ninja Gaiden 3 without him, I'm not trying to disrespect the people that did make Ninja Gaiden 3, but Mitchell, it wasn't the same. Ninja Gaiden 3 was just not.
It very much went in a different direction, and it just wasn't really what people wanted out of a Ninja Gaiden game. They kind of course corrected a little bit with Razor's Edge, but it's even still Razor's Edge, while a fine action game, it's not like you can't really compare it to the first 2 Ninja Gaiden games. It's a very different style of game.
Yeah. Ed Boon, of course, the creator and still the creative chief at NetherRealm on Mortal Kombat. He posted "Rest in Peace, Tomonobu Itagaki." Posted a picture of Ed with Itagaki-san, and a rare picture actually. It's Itagaki without sunglasses. He's just wearing prescription glasses, so you can actually see his eyes. Ed Boon posted "Rest in Peace, Tomonobu Itagaki. Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden made an undeniable impact on gaming. I only crossed paths with him a few times, but he could not have been nicer." And it's just, it's just a shocking thing, since his situation was not public. And then I remember I was scrolling Instagram actually first thing in the morning before starting the workday, and saw IGN had done a news story on his passing, and that was not something I was expecting to read. So, yeah, rest in peace, Itagaki-san, a truly unique game creator. And as Mitchell was saying, his mark is still felt. That the fact that Ninja Gaiden Black it remains the pinnacle of an entire genre 20 years later, not a lot of people can say that. So
yeah. I think with regards to, especially for Xbox, if you follow the Xbox history, both Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden were huge for Xbox's third-party relations with Japanese games. So in a way, like, Itagaki also pioneered Japanese support, Japanese ports, bringing things West side through Xbox with the games that he worked on. So kind of set a precedent that is, Xbox is still chasing and is still felt to this day. So he made a pretty big impact on Xbox itself, and not just like the games that he worked on. He's one of the pioneers of the industry, and it is sad to see him go. He's like y'all said, he's such a character, but he's also a visionary too. So it's always sad to see someone go like this, but
that's a great point, Michael, because you're right. I would even take it a step further from what you said. And I would argue that he legitimized the Xbox for Japanese developers.
Yeah.
We all know the story, like this American console from the American company, like the Japanese companies weren't really on board with it, and kind of historically, it's kind of come and gone. But yeah, you're right. Like Itagaki bet big on Xbox right out of the gate with Dead or Alive and then Ninja Gaiden. So yeah, great point there that we probably Xbox gamers owe a lot to Itagaki-san as Xbox fans, in addition to his actual like just literal game contributions as well.
Yep.
So with that, we have Ninja Gaiden 4 now. Again, the timing is almost eerie. I mean, this series that's been gone, it's been dormant for a dozen years, Mitchell? Over a decade.
13 years since Ninja Gaiden 3.
13 years. And boy, if they haven't already patched in a like in memory of thing for him, I'm sure they will. And I
don't think I saw his name in the credits. I hope they do.
Well, you had finished it before he passed, right? So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not there yet.
I think they probably still should have had a special thanks to Tomonobu Itagaki in the credits. Though,
true. Very true.
I know that there's some bad blood with how they split. So yeah.
Yeah. So Ninja Gaiden 4 does it not to get too heavy with this, but like, would Itagaki have been happy with this game, do you think?
I think so. I think this really kind of takes, I said about Ninja Gaiden 3 that it went off in a different way and kind of did its own thing that kind of kept the same core tenets of Ninja Gaiden's combat, but then changed virtually everything else. Ninja Gaiden 4 builds off the foundation of Ninja Gaiden 2 and adds on top of it, basically. So yeah, I do think that he would have been happy with what they did with this game for sure.
And so tell us now what you thought of it. I mean, again, you're a big fan of the franchise. I am too. I'm only three. I finished mission 3, and then I was just on assignment yesterday, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. You've obviously finished the game. You gave it an 8 out of 10 for IGN, which I'll be honest with you, Mitchell, when I saw your review, my initial thought was a little bit of disappointment, only because not in your review, but after that preview that we got of that you and I each played of just that first chapter, it was like, man, this seems to just nail it. Like, this seems like it could be absolutely awesome. And your final review, the combat's awesome, which is the most important thing. But yeah, kind of talk to us about your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, and my excitement from that preview still did hold up. Like I was blown away when I played that preview by the combat of the game, and it really held through all the way to the end of my playthrough. I think, and this is something that a lot of people will say, like, Ninja Gaiden is not known for the story. It's not known for its characters, et cetera, et cetera. And I agree with that. And if it was just the characters and the story, I probably still would have given it a 9. But there are some other issues, I think, and I don't want to harp too much on the negatives of a game that I did really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
But I think that the level design is pretty weak compared to previous games. I think, the progression is not very good at the beginning because they gate off so many of your techniques that previously weren't gated off, like the ability to charge your ultimate technique with orbs,
right.
The ability to do an on-land ultimate technique, which is like one of the core aspects of why I love the combat of Ninja Gaiden so much. And a couple other, like, the ultimate technique related things are completely blocked off until you get enough currency to be able to buy them. And then also on top of that, like, you can get the Deluxe Edition, which is $90-something, and then you just avoid that problem altogether, which kind of doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, it's not great.
Ooh, yeah, that's
a
choice.
But outside of that, in the ways that matter the most, this game is so damn good. I was smiling from ear to ear pretty much throughout the entire time playing, just because I was having so much fun engaging with combat. And combat is 90% of the game.
Do you agree with this, Mitchell? Like, for me, again, I'm not done with it. It makes me feel like a badass when I'm playing this game.
Oh yeah, Definitely. I mean, and that's what a good action game should do, I think. You play Devil May Cry, you feel awesome when you're, hitting them up, juggling them with guns, jumping up, knocking them away, pulling them back, et cetera, et cetera. Like that it feels so cool. And Ninja Gaiden has all that also in kind of a different way, mainly because you're able to use these blood infused, like blood raven form techniques, basically. And oh my God, just the amount of options you have at any given point. You basically have like 9 weapons in this game that you can swap between at any point, because you have the 4 base ones, and then you have the different forms of those weapons, which are also basically weapons by them, like their own weapons by themselves. They're just a little bit slower. It's just, man, I was just having so much fun experimenting with all the different moves I can do, and trying to challenge myself to come up with different combos for enemies that you can kind of juggle. And it's challenging, but not too challenging. I say this in the review, it checks all the boxes.
Yeah. Master Ninja difficulty for the fellow sickos opens up after you complete the game, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And I don't think you would want to play Master Ninja before that, because of the fact that the progression is kind of locked behind the Ninja coin.
Yeah.
And if you try to survive against the enemies on Master Ninja difficulty with the amount of life that you have and no ultimate technique upgrades, good luck. It would take a better person than me to deal with that.
So you were talking in your review that you said the combat in this is as good as it's ever been, which is really insanely high praise.
Yeah, I mean, again, it builds off of Ninja Gaiden 2, which I think has the best combat in the series. Even though I like Ninja Gaiden Black better, that's more from just the overall vibe of it and the structure of the game. I like the open kind of exploration that you can do, the backtracking, and just kind of the enemy design. But Ninja Gaiden 2, it adds the obliteration techniques, which is basically you slice off an enemy limb and you make them instantly executable. But then on the flip side, and this is again, this is an Itagaki thing. When you cut off a limb, you would think that would make the enemy, less dangerous. Like, nope. Like they can't do as many things. They're crawling on the floor. But to him, he would say, yeah, but now they don't have anything to lose. So you have a crawling enemy on the floor that's very slow, but he will leap at you, stab you with an explosive kunai, and blow himself up along with you. And it does massive damage. So to counter that, even though they have they're down a limb, they are more dangerous, but you can kill them in a single hit with an obliteration technique. And that's just such a fun way to experience this combat, especially because I saw a lot of people saying that the enemies were kind of like spongy. They took a lot of hits to kill. I never got that sense because of the fact that you have so many ways to just instantly take an enemy out of the fight. You could use ultimate techniques, you can use obliteration techniques, your flying swallow technique can just decapitate enemies sometimes. There's just so many ways you have the Asuna drop. There's just so many ways you have of dealing tons of damage really quickly to enemies in this game.
I have yet to get tired of the obliterations. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Every time it's the same camera cut every time, but just the way the camera just like swoops around and then you get a head that just comes off. It's the best.
And they're super punchy. They don't take too long. They're very satisfying. They all end in a very cinematic shot of Yakumo just like slicing an enemy's head off and looking really cool at the camera. And it's one of my favorite mechanics in
Can you talk about the berserk finishers, which are
the bloodbath kills. So another new mechanic is the berserk meter, which fills up as you take and deal damage and do obliteration techniques. And once it's full, you activate it, and then all of your charged blood raven form techniques will instantly kill any enemy that they touch. So you can like do things where you can extend your sword on the ground, kind of like what Goku would do with the power pole or Wukong, and then you like leap off, sweep it across, and just take out like 8 enemies all at once in a really cinematic,
like that
kind of red flash.
We're actually seeing it right now if you're watching this on video.
It's just so cool.
I actually did that. And it's just so perfect. Whoever I forget the chapter 3 boss, I finished him exactly in that one. It was just like the most satisfying thing ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where the screen just goes red and it does the cinematic thing, and then the boss just drops, and it's just like this is like just I can just mainline this for hours. This is so good. Miranda, are you gonna get that? Are you gonna jump into this at all? Where are you at?
I have Katamari coming up, so
a little bit of a different vibe.
Yeah, it's a different kind of rolling style, you know. I might get around to this. There's just, as you're saying at the top, there's just so many games out right now that it's really hard, and I feel like I kind of have to prioritize where I do want to try this out, but I'm also going into it without having any sort of Ninja Gaiden knowledge, and I know this is kind of deemed as a decent starting point just because they're trying to introduce new characters and things. So I might try to give it some time in next 2 weeks. Katamari, yeah, we just gave it a 9. I'm so excited. Like this month is just nonstop excitement for me, basically, because of all the releases. But
one thing I will say, Ninja Gaiden has always had a reputation for being very difficult, and it is. The first 2 games are some of the hardest games I think you'll play in the kind of. I can't call it the modern age anymore, but in that kind of era of like the Xbox 360 kind of days. But Ninja Gaiden 4 does a really good job of kind of lowering the skill floor. They have a new difficulty mode called Hero Mode, which I think if you are a complete newcomer, check it out. Get your hands on the combat, mash some buttons, have some fun. It has auto guard. It has auto combos, so you can do cool stuff just by pressing one button. Eventually, you'll probably want to take those training wheels off and go to normal. Or I think normal is the next jump up. But yeah, like you can play this game if you've never played a Ninja Gaiden game before. If you don't know the combat, and I think you could still have a good time. So I think that's actually a really good thing to kind of open the doors a little for newcomers.
I do agree with you, but I have to wonder if Itagaki-san would have gone for that.
That is probably something that Itagaki would have vetoed if he had creative control. But I personally think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. It is good to open the door for more people, and then you have hard and you have Master Ninja there if you want that extra challenge.
I just want to get people in the door. I just want people to understand why this is such a special game series to me, and just get like a basic understanding of why this combat is so cool.
And so Mitchell, kind of last thought on this before we move along. This was primarily developed by Platinum Games. Team Ninja kind of produced it, kind of was the guiding hand. But this really was a Platinum project. So do you feel good? Do you want this to continue? I assume yes, we want a Ninja Gaiden 5. And you feel good about Platinum being in the driver's seat now?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Team Ninja. They are one of the busiest game developers out there in terms of their output of video games. They're still doing Neo. I could not believe that this game was coming out within a year of Neo 3. Like, I know that is because of the Platinum partnership, but I just never thought, one of the reasons why I never thought this game would happen in the first place was because of the fact that Neo had become such a popular brand for Team Ninja, and I just didn't think that they would want to go back to the Ninja Gaiden series. But yeah, I if this is what it takes to keep Ninja Gaiden alive, having Platinum, and I think Platinum did a phenomenal job in terms of taking what Team Ninja had done before and adding their own spin to it. So I would be stoked to see this partnership continue and Platinum Games continue the legacy of Ninja Gaiden.
I'm with you 100%. I hope this continues, and hopefully a bunch of people play it on Game Pass. It's on PS5. Hopefully people buy it. It's on PC. It's multi-platform now. So we'll see how it does. But man, it's cool. Go ahead, Mitchell.
I will say, if we do get a Ninja Gaiden 5, please put Ryu back in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Yakumo, I think the gameplay that he is able to the stuff that Yakumo is able to do is awesome. But as a character, I want Ryu back. I don't want to be around Yakumo anymore. He's a bummer, man.
Yakumo's probably the weakest link of the game. I mean, I've played quite a bit of myself at this point, and I think it's a difference between the contrast is very stark when you think about Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which we played earlier this year, and then with Ninja Gaiden 4 is that there's a brisk pace to the way Ninja Gaiden 2 ran its story, and it was like campy, but it wasn't getting in the way. It kind of it was slick. It ran alongside the game itself. But there's something about Ninja Gaiden 4 that like it stops you and then shows you a lot of its story, kind of kills the momentum, and more so when you have a protagonist like Yakumo, who's like this edgelord who tries to be cool but isn't cool. But he is cool in combat, because once you figure out how to do the Blood Ravens techniques, that's when the game really opens up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I like playing this guy, but I do not want to hear him talk to anybody in this world. Yeah, that's it's kind of a contrast. It's like you said, like this isn't a story heavy game, but the way it is delivered is a little like it creates a little bit too much friction with the game itself, I think. And part of that is because I don't think Yakumo's a great character, especially when you have someone like Ryu Hayabusa also in like part of like as the icon of this franchise. It's like, oh, but I get the story that they're trying to tell here, or the context they're trying to build for a new era of Ninja Gaiden. But, you know, I wish there was more Ryu in this one.
Yeah. And not to spoil anything, but Mitchell, you do cover this in your review. You do get to play as Ryu. But yeah, maybe if we're lucky now, Team Ninja will see that Platinum has earned the right to make a Ryu game now. And maybe 5 will get us back in his boots. But there you go. Ninja Gaiden 4 on Game Pass now. Go play it. We're loving it. 8 out of 10. Go check out Mitchell's review. Either read it or watch it on IGN or YouTube. And Mitchell, I know you've got a family obligation here. We're going to let you go, and then we will move on to our next topic.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Unlocked, IGN's weekly Xbox show. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to watch the full episode at youtube.com/IGN Games. New episodes of Unlocked drop every Thursday on IGN Games, IGN.com, and your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.